Hello, everyone. We are live. Who all is in the house? We've had people here since yesterday. Scroll back, see who all is here. Really having to scroll back. I know that Don and Wendy were here really early, and Chris 103 Customs and Mohawk, and lots of folks were here early. Let's see who's been here just recently. Brian was here, Dust Devil Garage, One-Eyed Cat checking in and out. RC Industry can't catch us live, but I'm sure we'll fill him in. Jed was here before his premiere, Scott Speed Shop, Big Block 402. He says the orange paper causes anxiety problems. Don't do it. Too late. 38 POS Racing is here. Technician Troy. Glad you guys could be here. Dean Stevenson from the other side of the universe. Glad you made it. Twisted Mopar Garage. I passed the time of day talking about how many cubic inches are in a gallon. That's strange. Auto Salvage Outlaws says the best community on the No Name National. This is the community of the No Name Nationals. Busted Radial Garage. How's it going? Well, he was here early. He's got videos to post now. All right. Big Block 402. Did we ever get the drone picture? You can see it now. Let's see here. NSB Custom Cars is here. Twisted Mopar Dennis. Scarlet the Four-Eyed Cuda. Engine Light Garage. Ryan Barsness is here. They're talking about the Drury Inn, which is a nice place. But they really rake you good on dogs, which is, I'm not crazy about that. But Ryan Barsness is sleeper. The track's actually pretty nice. Yeah, I agree. I really like being able to get up at 7 o'clock and you know, do my last circuit around the place, checking everything out, and it was great. So sleep track is pretty good, and the weather's perfect. Austin from Daddy's Money Garage is in here. Mexican Spec. Ryan can't wait for No Name Nationals 2024 if it's in Sykes. If it's anywhere else. Oh, goodness. Tony's Hot Rod Garage. Glad you're here. JB's Little Shop says deplorables assemble. That's what we do. Pure Pontiac Garage is here. Unfinished Project. Glad you could make it. Levi's Backyard Performance. Any guesses for the date? I say third week in September. Well, you're really going out on a limb there, my man. Dakota's Timeout. Stephen Holtz just driving. And by the way, I got your channel stickers up here, guys. I told you I was going to take that case apart and do it before we drop this live. Who all else is in here? Dean Stevenson, of course. Tim Mopar, 67. Creedence Chrysler Revival. How's it going, sir? Hope to see you again. Ryan Barsness says he's bringing a big block B body of some kind. No exact plan yet. Well, you have a few days to do it. Let's greet everybody first. Colleen is here. Creedence Chrysler is going to try to find his offset rocker motor this weekend, borrow a carb, and distribute out of the son's truck. Cool. I like his content. Creedence Chrysler Revival's got some neat stuff. Let's see. Jay from Rabbit Transit is here. Buff Del Campo. Man, having a hard time catching up. William is here. Charger 383 Mopar. Turbo Tom with a new avatar. Indirect Connection. Old McDonald. Unity Motorsports Garage, and Jed from Scott's Speed Shop. I think when those two comment in parallel like that, it opens a door to another universe. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Mopar Den is here. T's Good Time Garage. T, I thought about you today. It's doing a little bit of artwork and marketing stuff. Got to get you in on that. Jackie Abbott is here. Deke Denny is here. New City Carpet. I like that. I like that. Skip's Dark Hollow Garage. All right. Dr. Art is here. Dr. Art, the first person to ever make a pass down the track at the inaugural No Name Nationals. He will always have that distinction. Bigfoots and Mopars. Sam Mountain Ballistics. Ryan says he's registered. Blue Collar Performance. He's at a high school ball game, but we'll be listening with terrible signal. Well, that's right on. We're going to get you caught up, Nate. You know what's going on. Thanks for stopping in. Jackie Abbott, baker of the world's best cookies. Let's see. Functional Histories. Does nothing special. All right. We'll catch up eventually. Raker's here. Rob's Rods and Streetcars. Frank Parks. How's it going, man? Good to see you. I need to swing by and see you again sometime. But now that my aunt doesn't live down there in that area, I don't get down there as often. But I'm going to make that happen. Jason's Garage is here, and Thumper, and 6% recycled. Cool. We are caught up. Jim's Fastback Garage and 2 hacks. Well, thanks for stopping in, everybody. So, we are going to be going back to Sikeston. However, it has been renamed. And so on Thursday, September 19th, Friday, September 20th, and Saturday, September 21st, those are the dates. And the track, it is under contract, equitable title, and it is now the Skelton Raceway at Sikeston Drag Strip. So it pays tribute to the Skelton family, who has equitable title in the property. I don't say owner because I don't know what their deal is, and really it doesn't matter to me. What I know is that he has all authority in managing that property. And from what I'm hearing, the track is already significantly better. So I'm glad for that. That's a great thing. So it's the Skeltons. And you probably don't recognize the name Skelton, but Skelton is actually the real name of Possum, whom we call Mayor Possum. Possum is a great guy. We've known him for years, and he has helped with the inaugural and the second annual No Name Nationals. And you might have seen him. He was running the lull last year, helping us in the Burnout pit. The year before, he was helping us, get our EMTs in place and the fire department and such like that. He's always been very helpful, very supportive of the event. And I would like to think that this event helped encourage him to work out a deal with Larry Jeffers so that he is now in charge of managing that track. And that's going to pay dividends for us. And from what I hear, that a lot of the things, the infrastructure things that we needed to work through that hamstrung us a little bit in 2022 are already fixed. He didn't wait for winter, nothing. They're already addressed. So it's going to be a wonderful venue. The dates, we are again situated in between lots of different things, but that third week in September, I believe it is, Thursday, September 19th, Friday, September 20th, Saturday, September 21st. This is the week before the Ford event, Bowling Green, and it is the week after Mo Party. So again, we're in that same spot right there. It's a great time of year. The weather doesn't get any better than that. So, we hope we don't have rain, but statistically, I believe it's a 7% chance. So I'll take it. But that is the deal. The registration link is pinned. And a couple of you sneaky people found old reused links. Oh my gosh. And then a bunch of you found, I don't think I had to tell you what a link was, but yeah, so this year, one thing that we were trying to figure out was on the cost that it's going to take to run this event. And so I'm still undecided on that. To me, this is, I just want it, you guys, I've said several times, I want this to be fun and safe and pay for itself. And what I decided to do was the entry fees got to go up. Everything has gone up. We've had 20% inflation across the board in the last 2 years. It has to go up. However, that said, I'm going to keep the last year's price until the new year. So this gives everybody an opportunity. If you want to get in on the 2022 price and you register this year, you can. How much will it go up? I don't know. It won't be a lot. It's not going to be, I'm not going to be comparing what other people are doing to see. That's not how it works. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the budget and I'm looking at percentages of what things have gone up. Everything is higher. The cost of vinyl, the cost of signage, the cost of labor, the cost of fuel. There's so many things that contribute to those prices. The cost of rentals for things like light plants and so forth and so on, and barricades. So we're going to have to go up a little bit. We still should be significantly better value than a lot of events, especially considering I've already got things that, we're wanting to do with the budget to make this event as good as possible. So it already has a good use, but I'm trying to keep it as low as we possibly can. That said, I'm keeping the 2022 price up for the rest of the year since we're opening this a couple of days early. Okay. And since Don wants to know, we have 265 days. And day 265 is almost gone. There are 3 hours and 47 and a half minutes left in day 265. So there you go. There you go. Things I want to do. Well, there's a lot of little things that just in general go up. Like the cost of everything. There were a couple of things that were actually better than last year. One of which is that we didn't need to get more sand for the sand pit. That was a plus. The cost of light plants was lower. I found a vendor, because I do shop these things out. I found a vendor there in Sikeston who would cut us a better price on the rental of light plants if we picked them up. So I thought that was great. So we did that. Shout out to Mike Reynolds, Sikeston. Great guy to deal with. So I'm trying to always use the money right, but there's some things I want to do. And I will tell you one of them. If I meet a registration goal on the number of cars that I'm looking for by Memorial Day, I want to get a chassis dyno there. That's something I want to do. I can't guarantee you because obviously I don't own one. So it's going to depend on other people. It's going to depend on schedule and cost, everything. But I do want to have a chassis dyno there for 2024. Okay. Yeah. Daddy's Money says, yes, chassis dyno. I agree. There's a few things with that we got to figure out. One of which is to where to have it in the schedule. There are some things that we're looking at doing in the schedule that I think you're going to like. Just trying to make the best use of it. Unfinished Project said, I was right. Okay. Gosh, I don't even know who all has registered yet, but I have just an unending list of them. So for all you registered, thanks. Yeah, I figured a lot of people would want to get in on it. Shop 209 says, hey, I'm late. So what are the dates? For anybody coming in, they're scrolling on the bottom. It's going to be September 19th through the 21st, that Thursday through Saturday. And we are going back to Sikeston. The track now is the Skelton Raceway at Sikeston Drag Strip. So named for the Skelton family, the patriarch of which is Possum. He's been helping us with this event for years. And Sikeston Drag Strip is what the track has historically been named. The track's been around since I think 1969, and it's had some different names, but Sikeston Drag Strip is its original name, and it has reverted to that. But from what I have heard, the reports on track prep it is worlds better already. We had several races that were canceled, lots of inactivity because of the timing system problems that were before the No Name Nationals. The track wasn't getting the kind of prep, and it didn't have the kind of laps on it for the No Name Nationals. So traction was down in 2022. It's unfortunate, but from what I understand, that's already been remedied. All of the reports I've heard from local racers who've been coming out to race at Sykeston say that the traction is great. So I'm expecting it'll be that way again. And part of our track lease agreement, it does have the traction specified, traction compounds, etc. So we're going to have that back. There's a lot of little things like that we've worked on. One thing too, you know the expression "no good deed goes unpunished." In an attempt to make good accommodations for Bad Attitude C10 specifically, because as you know he uses a wheelchair to get around, I said I want to make sure that he has handicap accessible restrooms. However, that resulted in a lot more people saying, hey, I'm not walking back to the front again. And so that kind of turned disastrous about halfway through the event. So we're going to remedy that this year. Either we're going to have site-built restrooms down there, which would, of course, depend on the track owner, but we can work on that. Or I'm going to have probably at least 3 portable toilets down there. So we're going to make that situation better. So a lot of those little things we're going to make better. Shop 209, I have no idea. There's so many of those drag and drive events. I looked around. There's a lot of them. I know that this is situated right between the Holly Ford event and Mo Party. Dakota's has just put toilet paper out in the woods. I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't a remedy for some people already. But that's the scoop. That's where we're going. That's the dates. And I got to tell you, I'm excited about it. It's been a lot of work to get it to this point. There's still a lot more to do. I also, if you'll notice on the registration site, we again have options for registering for the event. 1 day only as well, even though very few people do that. That's okay. If you can make 1 day, don't want to register for the whole event, you get that price break. Also, the weekend pass and individual tickets, individual day spectator tickets are discounted on the website. So you know, they go up at the gate. So you get a discount for doing it online, put it on will call. That does save labor at the gate. It processes more people through. And also people get a discount because they're willing to make a commitment, just like we all are willing to make a commitment. I'm willing to make a commitment. Everybody, Dallas is willing to make a commitment. You guys are willing to make a commitment and be there. So when the spectators say, hey, I'll match your commitment and put money where my mouth is, we give them a discount for doing so also. Unity Motorsports Garage says 2024 is going to be the year for Casper. I hope so. Sounds great to me. Jed says he's got to get vehicles and such figured out. Yeah, well, the clock is running now. That's why I said all this time was bonus time in here. But we're excited to be back, and just so many good things I'm looking forward to, little things we're getting ironed out. So on the registration site, you'll notice those options, but also I've added to the site, I have added No Name National shirts and No Name Nationals decals. And when I say decals, I mean the heavy vinyl, like outdoor grade 12-year vinyl decals. So if you look at them, you say, you know, $5 for stickers, including shipping. It's like, but these are heavy decals you can actually put on the outside of your car. I am going to get a less expensive sticker option, more like a channel sticker that will be, you know, like indoor grade, that kind of vinyl. And I'll have a few hundred of them next week. So that way you'll have an option between something to put on your toolbox or refrigerator or whatnot, and then something to put on your daily or your tow vehicle or your race car or whatever. Functional histories. I believe I can do up to 4. Well, I can do 4 or 5X, but I think I've got in stock up to 3X. But I added the shirts to the website. I love to have contests, love to give shirts away. But the proceeds from the shirts, which aren't much, I mean, those shirts, it's $20 at the event. It was last year, $25 online now, but that includes the shipping. So there's a very thin margin on the shirts. However, that margin goes straight back into the event. So that's what they're up there. We can sell them year round. And it just goes right back into this event for all of you guys. Mexican Spec. Who do I ask about the tracking number for the prize I won last week? If that wasn't a contest on my channel, I'm not sure. Could not tell you. Bigfoots and Mopars says, can't wait for Joe to tell me why he can't race me this next year. Well, get in the bracket. Run him down. Thumper says, shirts not available. Shirts are available. They're available on the website. And I keep sizes on the website. I've got medium on the website. I just ran out of medium. Mediums are on the way in. However, there's not many people that order a medium. So mediums are coming back in stock really soon. So you can go ahead and order one on the website. I'll get it to you as quick as I can. But large, extra large, 2X, and some 3s are in stock. Buff's Garage said he had a lot of fun. Maybe a purpose-built Burnout car this year. I got to tell you, that Burnout pit is something else. Oh, a trivia question. Won a socket set last week. That would be LP94. That would be Lars. And if he wants any help getting it shipped to you, I'm glad to help him. New City Carpet says, I respect the street manners of Casper, yet that down low power. Casper's making 600-pound feet. I mean, just about everywhere. So James and James Show is watching, says his comments won't show up. He's definitely not blocked. That's odd. James and James, I haven't seen your comments in here either. That's very odd. I will check and I'm gonna, you know what I'll do? Don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just run over real quick and make sure that we don't have them blocked. I mean, if they are, it's an accident, but I will check real quick. It happens, I can tell you. I have accidentally blocked people and unblocked them. And there we go. Settings, community. Nope. The only people blocked are people who are supposed to be. So, no, I don't know, James and James. Maybe if you're posting a link or something in your comment, that could be what it is. Stephen Hote says he's registered. Bigfoots and Mopars can see you. He said James and James Show. I'm assuming that means you can see him, Mark. Yeah, check live chat instead of just top chat. I don't even know why there's an option. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. You're not blocked. It's probably something like posting a link or something. No one's blocked Mexican Spec. No one. I just looked just now. No, I do have a few turds blocked, but they don't have anything to do with James and James. Ryan Barsness says, can't wait till next year. Dates are September 19th through 21st. Yes, 19th again is the Thursday. That's the day that's free for everyone. That's going to be the day we tech in, cruise to Lambert's, all of that good stuff. Ticket sales to the public. Track is hot on the 20th and 21st, Friday and Saturday. Yeah, James and James, we can work on that later, but you're definitely not blocked. So that much I can tell you for sure. Where is Mopar Joe? Joe's probably lurking. Joe's probably getting ready to make his list and check it twice. Don't worry about him. He turns up and puts on a clinic every year. Unfinished Project says he is registered. Do you mean for the event? I hope you don't mean registered as in registry registered. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, the main thing is James and James are watching. Although I do wish they'd comment, but they're not showing up, but they're definitely not blocked. So that's a strange one. Tech on Thursday this year too? Yes. And that's a good point. I've talked with Deke, and Deke was in here earlier. I've talked with Deke. I've talked with Ron Ward. Deke is back. Ron Ward is back. Barkley is back. Mayor Possum, I'm assuming, will be there. He's been there the last 2 years, but he's going to be there in a new capacity. So So yeah, it's going to be exciting. We got a lot of great players in place. Lynn, who managed the track last year, she's not managing the track this year. But that said, she still lives locally and she's certainly invited to come out, and I hope she will be. She was a pleasure to work with. She did inherit some tough stuff over there, but the the deal itself is Possum and his family are running the track. So it doesn't really have anything to do with her, but she still does live there. And I certainly hope she'll come out. She enjoyed the event. And like most other people over there, Missouri is called the Show Me State for a reason. And we had to show those people what it was all about and win them over. And we did. Unity Motorsports says Ron Ward calling the action. Indeed. Ron was excited when we talked about it. So I'm excited to have him back. Yeah, there's Deeks in the chat. And I'm assuming that we're going to be doing some live streams throughout the year to answer tech questions. I can't think of any other event on earth that gives you so many opportunities and access to the tech inspectors ahead of time to ask questions and get ready to pass tech inspection. I don't know any other event that is as proactive and gives as much opportunity as this one for doing that. And so I haven't talked with Deke about that specifically yet, but hopefully we'll do what we did last year, and we will have live streams where you can ask the tech inspector himself, and you'll have opportunities to send me, email me your pictures and questions ahead of time if need be. And we want to make sure that your trip through tech inspection is a smooth one. Scott Speed Shop says, I'll probably bring something that isn't junk but leaves as junk, or bring junk that leaves as better junk. Okay. Hey, either way. Big Block 402 says, going to bring a fastest truck trophy from Big Block 402 in Lake Welding. Okay, sounds good to me. You know the drill. You bring it, it can go on the trophy table, and you want to be there to present it. Dick Denny's down for it, so we'll be doing it. We'll be doing some live streams to be able to answer your tech questions ahead of time. I thought that was really helpful. Another thing that we can do this year, we didn't do as much of last year because the people who needed to be there the most were not. So, we backed off of doing them. And that was the content creator workshops. I was pleasantly surprised. We had such a stout inaugural class for the No Name 500. I mean, really good No Name 500 class. The names in that class are really something when you think about it. I said, you know what? I'm afraid how we're going to top that for year two. I wondered, and then sure enough, year two's No Name 500 class was exceptional, and a lot of really great channels and surprises came out of that. So I'm hoping that the third annual No Name 500 rookie class, so to speak, is a good one, and we'll see what happens. But I'm excited about that. And so, if that shapes up and it has a healthy turnout, I want to have more content creator workshops. And the content creator workshop, just in case people are wondering, what the idea there is, this community, the idea of making and sharing content, I mean, whatever YouTube goals you have aside, whether it's monetization or fame and riches and whatever, all that aside, for the purposes of this community and this event, it's about sharing your builds and who you are and what you do, that kind of thing, right? And so we just want to help you optimize that, so that for all the hard work you put in on it, maybe instead of 50 people seeing it, 500 people see it, or maybe instead of 200 people see it, 2,000 see it. That's the idea. Because you put in all the work out there in your driveway, we'd like to see you just get the title right and get the tags right and get the length right and the editing and, all of that work done in the garage when the lighting, didn't turn out and that kind of thing. So we just want to share with you the things we've found to help you optimize the work you're doing and the stuff you're creating. Bear Rose says, can't wait to see the next generation of No Name 500. Right on. I agree. I am looking forward to it. We need some new channels. Yeah. So I'm up to any new channels as long as they're cool community minded channels like we have. That's what we're looking for. I'm not after a generic car count. I'm after people in this kind of community, these kind of people. And so the more of those people want to join us and do what we do and share and participate and be a good member of the community, that's great by me. You'll be a new channel, but you're an established channel, Functional Histories. No Name 500 is for channels with fewer than 500 subscribers. And by the way, speaking of that, the first year, Cultured Redneck Garage, Kyle there, he was in the No Name 500 who didn't quite get his 500 subs, but I'm pleased to report that he got that today. He got 500 subscribers. So Cultured Redneck Garage will be, I assume he's coming. He's been there the last 2 years. I'm assuming he's coming again. And he will be registered as an established channel. And I'm excited. He's a great guy, but this year he's going to be racing. And he's got some cool stuff. So that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, way to go. Yeah, indeed. Daddy's Money Garage. There you go, Austin. You're memorialized back there in the corner. Yeah, that picture, that's not a picture of Whistling Diesel. That's a picture of Austin and that dude that he snapped a picture with the lake. Jim's Fastback Garage, I'm slowly getting the subscribers, around 122 now. Jim, this is the rocket ship you want to be on. If you want to get to 500, this community gets behind the people who are part of what we're doing here. New City Carpet has a 65 GTO. Cool. Dizzy Izzy said it's not about how fast you are. It's about how you go fast and all the different ideas and different ways to reach the same goal. Sure. You just want to reach it honestly. I mean, the whole idea is sharing, these bills with your friends. Yes, Professor P, the orange paper is up. It is up. The number has dropped. And we have 3 hours and 27 and a half minutes left in day 265. Yikes. Okay. Something else really exciting I want to tell you guys about. In the month of January, we're targeting dropping some new rules. There's going to be a change coming to one class that I think has needed it for a while. This year it's going to happen. In the month of January, we're going to drop the rules for Outlaw Monkey Bike. So those little two-wheeled things that my dog likes to bark at like the end of the world, they're getting ready to get meaner and faster and more obnoxious and all of that. And this is a response to the YouTubers being the creative bunch that you are. All of you guys are the kind of guys who don't like to color inside the lines. You like to do your own thing. And we want to embrace that. So sometime in the month of January, by the end of the month of January, I want to have rules for Outlaw Monkey Bike in place. It's going to give you guys more opportunity, more freedom of creativity with your monkey bike. And it's going to be a speed breakout basis. Okay. So in other words, instead of having more limitations in ways to try to keep the bike speed down, like the traditional monkey bike rules are limited by the gear ratio. There's James and James show. Now I see you, my man. So rather than be limitations on gear ratios and knowing about what kind of RPM you can get away with on those 97cc engines, what we did was, that was the original plan. Now it's going to be a speed-based breakout. It's going to be on the driver and the rider and crew chief or whatnot to figure out how not to break out on that speed. But it's going to let you guys turn it loose a little bit. That said, the trade-off is you're going to have to be there's going to be a little bit more stringent tech. Okay, I saw some people trying to cheat a little bit on the monkey bike tech. Not going to happen this year. Okay, not going to happen. I don't care what the temperature is. You're not wearing shorts out there on a monkey bike. You're my friends. I don't want to see you get hurt out there. However, I think that class is going to be a lot of fun. And Blue Collar Performance, you'll see. I think you'll like what we do. But it's going to be a speed breakout basis. Auto Salvage Outlaws dropping a video here in a few hours. Good. That's excellent. I assume that your penalty box situation with YouTube is over. James and James, I'm glad you're here. I hope this year that it works out. However, one thing in the back of my mind is if you were getting married when No Name Nationals happened last year, this is going to be your anniversary weekend this year. But I hope you turn out and bring her too. Do I have to wait till January to find out the breakout speed? We are working on that. But you're going to have plenty of time. That's going to drop in the month of January. Some other good things. We're going to try to get more participation in 28-10-5. One thing that really hurt it this year is there was just a cross-the-board wave of bad breaks for a lot of participants. Man, I mean, seemed like a lot of people had a lot of reasons cars were broke and didn't get together and whatnot. So I think surely we're not going to have that kind of luck again. I think we'll have a more full class. But one class that I do want to put more emphasis on is the bracket. And I want to run a second bracket of some kind because it's great to have an all-run bracket. It is a lot of fun. I think that everybody should participate in the bracket. Just, it doesn't cost you anything extra to enter, nothing. So turn out running the bracket. However, I do want to run a second bracket of some kind. I'm not exactly sure what, but we're going to run a second bracket of some kind. 0G, again, you know, when the field is breaking and not turning out, I can't split the class. Can't split a class that needs to step up and turn out. But that said, we're going to do more with 28-10-5, get the turnout up a little bit. Hey, Scott, Speed Shop, we do have a 1432 tire class. It's called the bracket. Jeremy says real streetcar bracket. We'll see. We're going to do some kind of bracket. We'll see. But I know one way I'm leaning toward on that. But bottom line is, it'd be pretty cool to have two brackets. And Slant Daily says stick shift bracket. Roland did pretty well running a stick shift in the bracket. So did Brewer. Brewer went rounds in with a stick shift to bracket. Cushman bracket. Yeah, I'm sure. You going to supply 16 of those things, William? Oh, Jeremy, by the way, I see Jeremy the Dirty Hippie in here. Your car is on the registration site if you want to check it out. Mufflers, license plates, road cars. But what is that in 2024? I mean, there's 6-second cars that have that just so they can say they have that. But we all know, I mean, you know, so I think we've gotten to where it's hard to just say these things a street car make. Jed says, I'm not into bracket stuff. I'd like to line up with stuff like the knuckle duster, be transported back in time. I bet. That'd be interesting. School bus bracket. Well, you can always enter a school bus in the bracket, Dakota. Bring a school bus and enter it. Let's see. Just Mopar Joe's here. Oh, look out. Mud tire class? No. When you say mud tire, I know street tires, but ultimate driver challenge. But look, I mean, there is all of these. There's 50 different ideas for classes, and we could have 50 different classes with 2 cars piece in them. But you know, we do want to come up with one cool. You know, we'll have a different bracket. There's all kinds of ideas for it, but I kind of know what I'm leaning toward. But I want to add a second bracket of some kind. And 2 brackets, just like we have, they're not the answer. You know, if you look, you guys, you know who the people are to beat. You got to do what you got to do. James says, I don't care what class it is. We coming to win. Right on. Let's do it. James, he's one of those guys that brings the heat, shows up. I like people like that. We need foot races at night. Let's see here. Cooper Cobra tire bracket. Oh my goodness. Slant Daily Garage. Keep the lights on, money. He likes that expression. Appreciate that, Professor P. All goes right in the kitty for this event. I mean, that's really where it goes. All righty. So there's a contest going on right now that I'll mention for no other reason than just to mention it. I didn't have anything to do with it. But Don English and Wendy English have this contest that they want to, they're taking guesses on what the viewership of this live will be at a certain time. And if they want to say it, they can. If they don't want to say it, then you won't know. And they'll just see who wins the over-under on it. But anyway, you can do your call-outs. I did see fewer per capita call-outs for 2023 than 2022. And that makes sense because what 2022 taught us is a whole lot of stuff can happen in 9 months. And a lot of it's bad. We had a lot of people just completely fizzle out. And so, when one half of the pair on the call out doesn't make it, then neither half of the pair on the call out makes that race, right? So that's how that works, right? So we saw fewer in the way of call outs, but that said, still feel free to make your call outs and make them at the event. At least making a call out to somebody else keeps them motivated, and it keeps people motivated because now they've got something publicly on the calendar they need to make happen. And that was a big motivator that helped people get there and get together. One-Eyed Cat says, I'm calling out Dakota. There, I said it. There you go. Thumper says, I didn't fizzle. Waiting on parts, had lost things. Hey, I get it. I mean, the races can fizzle, but, there's all kinds of reasons why. I mean, everything from death to financial hardship to tornadoes, literally, and everything in between. So stuff happens. A lot of life happens in 9 months. Yeah, Big Block 402 had a non-vented gas cap mess with. Yeah, it can be the least little thing. I mean, Professor P had a master cylinder wind up being the last hurdle that kept him off the track. He's making Rush's incinerator bracket races. Thank you, Austin. I got to tell you, that said, if it's not something that tears up the track, I'm open to all kinds of goofy races. I know that Dust Devil Bride had talked about doing a mobility scooter race, bicycle races. If you people are serious, let me know. Joe had that tiny transmission problem. That's all it takes. Joe had, I believe it was a low reverse servo that bent the cover, which is strange because usually it's the cast servo that breaks, not the steel cover. But his did. His bent the steel cover. And the thing is, we were this close to having it all figured out because I had just bought that 5/18 and 38 POS Racing. But unfortunately, on that transmission, you have to do a lot more disassembly to get it out. I was going to say, just take it. But wasn't to be. It was too much to take down to get to it. So. But to Joe's credit, he did try to run it without reverse. Dakota, who made it just fine last time, now thinks he can't make it this time. I figured the last time would show you that you could. And it seems like the last time when you did show that you could. That's strange. Van only bracket race. There's all kinds. I knew if I said it, there'd be all kinds of, and I'll tell you, there's all kinds of neat brackets that one could have, but we definitely want to add another bracket on the Saturday. James and James says the first call out is calling out Levi. He broke a transmission last time and was supposed to race turbo versus nitrous. Sounds like a good race to me. Danny Boyd, you could haul it for him. Why don't you do that? Then you come as a spectator. You have a truck. Levi's saying it's on. All right. Looking forward to that. Laguna versus Nova. It's good stuff. The first call out already happened. There's a $150 pot already, and that's Dallas versus the Professor P. So let's not forget that one. That's going to be a good one. Shop 209s, as soon as I figure it out, I'm going to call out a couple people. Right on. Looking forward to that. John he's that quiet guy there, Shop 209. He's the kind that's going to really, he's a wild card. He's the kind of guy that can really come out of nowhere and take some people out. So that's going to be exciting. Levi is saying it's going to be, all I can say is going to be faster than last year. All right. Sounds good. Mexican specs of the V8 Thunderbird versus the Slant 6 car. Yeah, Dallas wishes. If I could just show up, yeah, you can make it, man. It's worth it. It's a blast. I mean, it's worth it to come and hang out and have a great time with everyone. I mean, this is a big YouTube content creator family reunion and a drag race broke out. That's essentially what it is. Twisted Mopar says, where's Cope? If anything, Cope comes in for the second half, but I'm sure he knows he's going to get his, dates and everything on this. So he never gets in a hurry. He never gets in a hurry to register. He's not one of those be there when the door opens kind of people. Although that said, Cope did, when I put the thumbnail up for this live, he was in here hours ago. So he's watching. He's had a big valve body sale today, and I hope it was a good one for him. Tony's Hot Rod Garage says it's worth every one of those 3,400 round trip miles I traveled. Indeed. I appreciate Tony coming out. And by the way, his company, Gunslinger Graphics, made these nice embroidered staff shirts for No Name Nationals that Barkley and I, Dallas Strong Ward, and all were wearing a Deke. Those were made by Gunslinger Graphics. That's Tony's company. So if you have any of these custom shirt ideas you're thinking of for No Name Nationals, that's your guy. Cope is having dinner with Jeff. Oh, there you go. Will channels outgrow being welcome? As long as they're good people, no. We don't care how big a channel is. I mean, we have channels that probably think they've outgrown us, and nobody gets special treatment. No, doesn't matter to me. I mean, every channel that was there last year is bigger now than they were last year. It was bigger last year than the year before. Nothing changed. You go through the pits, you don't know. When you go through the pits to No Name Nationals, you don't know who has 500 subs and who has 50,000. Everybody is just as normal and regular and humble as they can be. I mean, the whole point of getting 500 is just so that people can demonstrate that they're willing to put themselves out there and share their content, who they are, what they're building, engage with the community, and it works. You see a lot of fellowship, big brotherhood here of people that have come together over this experience of doing content creation together. That's the point of it. That's what the No Name 500 accomplishes. That's why the conduct is so good at the event. That's why we've never had a fight, never had people raising their voice. It's been great. Never had a problem. I know that Ron Ward was even commenting on that. He was in the tower calling it. He says, man, he says, this race, nobody ever comes up to the tower to complain. I mean, That's the point. JB says, who cares about the subject? There to have fun, right? And once you make it and you accomplish that, with the help of the community and, and earn that way in, it makes it more special. But yeah, I don't care if you have 500, 50,000, 500,000. If you're cool and want to enjoy this community and have a good time and everything, fine with me. Clint Street Machines. All of you guys, by the way, who have been sitting on your decals, I did get them in the case back here. You'll notice. I messed myself up good with that thing. I thought I wanted to put a case up like this one that has the clear plastic on it so that it would keep them from ever getting messed up. But it made it harder to just add them because I got to unscrew it from the wall and all that. So I did that today. Brooke Clark is ready for some pickle pops. Okay. Not even going to ask. Junkyard D says, Michael Hampton, register and start now. You can do it. Exactly. And Junkyard D speaks from experience because that's what he did. He registered and he did it. M sees his back there, right? His is a clear one though, so I actually put it on the white backing so it would show up better. One of the things, some other stuff I'm going to be doing this year. I noticed that on the website for the track, they have their concession menu up, which I think is cool. They're going to be ready for us. Our crowd is a bigger crowd. Concession needs to be ready for that. But I want to have a program this year. I've already priced it with a local printer here. They're good to me. And their stuff looks really good. I've tested them with some other stuff I've had printed this year. And I want to have a program this year that has the concession menu and has some other cool stuff in it, event schedule, and have that printed out. Being the online community that we are, we're all so fluent with YouTube and our phones and everything. It's not really been a problem, but I'm thinking instead of just printing out some sheets with schedule, I'm going to have them in a nice digest size program that people can get at the gate. Just one little way that we want to polish things up this year. I also plan to have a welcome center right inside the gate. A place to check people in might be a little more efficient than trying to catch people throughout the pits, which works. It keeps the line out of the road, but then it's a little harder to track everybody down. So anyway, I'm thinking having a welcome center like that might make a good way where people can come and get checked in. So anyway, it's just, when you have an event that's really good and gets a lot of good feedback and people enjoy it, the last thing you want to do is just turn it upside down and completely change the thing every year. And that's, it's like that old expression, we have the greatest country in the world, now let's change it. No. We want to make small changes that make sense. So like I said, we'll have little changes that make sense. I do want to add a second bracket of some kind. There's 20, 30, 50 different brackets we could have, and 29, 49 different people will, say, I want to do a different kind of bracket. But just to have a second bracket, I think will be cool. Different bracket, centered around a different kind of racer, so to speak. But anyway, yeah, that's the deal. JB's asking the dyno coming along, so I am working on that. Like I said, I do have a target number of registrations I want to see by Memorial Day before I commit to that. And the reason is simple: stuff is expensive, and there's a lot of things that we could add to the event, but we just want it to be fun, safe, and pay for itself. So that's what we're doing. And see, another thing too that you always have to kind of prepare for is you got to have that contingency to make sure everything's paid for if the gate is way down. Like if you were to have a huge rainstorm. If you were to have a huge rainstorm when you already have your rental agreement in place, you're going to have a lower gate. So you got to make sure these things are paid for. And when you're trying to operate on a really minimal budget to be as good to the community as you can, I'm not trying to figure out, what we could get and what we can squeeze people for. That's not the idea here, to create a margin. The idea is for the event to be fun, safe, and pay for itself. I don't get paid for this. I do this because I love it and I love this community. But that's the idea. So there's always a balance. I want the money to go good places. And that is one place I think is a good place, is to do a dyno. So that's the idea. That's the idea. Twisted Mopar Garage, for every one person I hear that wants Junior Dragster, I hear 10 that don't want it. If a Junior Dragster wants to register in competition, you have to have a driver's license, though. I mean, so I guess the 16, 17-year-olds could come and race with the regular program. But that said, I don't know that the track would even allow that for safety reasons. I don't know. Although, maybe against monkey bikes or something. I have no idea. We did have some people propose some crazy stuff, bicycles, mobility scooters, and everything else. James, I'll pay to keep the juniors, don't you? See, we get 10 of those for every want to see the juniors there. I think it's not so much the junior dragsters as it is all of the stuff that tracks do about it with them in the pits and all this stuff. And the way they do it, it just is a huge bog in the middle of the program. I think that's the deal. But anyway. Slant Daily says he's registered. I don't know how many we have registered, but it's a bunch. The list scrolls off. I mean, I've got... I've got 22 registered while we were sitting here. So we had 20 tried to register at the same time last year. And then we had 2 that thought they were, but they didn't take into account Central Time versus Eastern Time. And so there were 22 who tried to register first and 20 who actually, threw a dart trying to do it. But the first registered this year, because they're always fighting for it, it was Jason Falk, Indirect Connection. He was the first registered. And he beat Rabbit Transit J by a whole 7 minutes this year. Yeah, 38. It's Jason, Indirect Connection. I think Jay probably has a medical directive, if he goes into a coma, for his family to keep him registered in perpetuity because he can't risk losing that number 1. But yeah, also again, if you're re-registered, I said Memorial Day last year, we'll probably keep that the same. If you're re-registered by Memorial Day, you can keep your number. Zero G, how about a no roll bar class? Well, Zero G, anything is no roll bar if it doesn't have to have it for the speed. I mean, if it has to have it, it has to have it, but that's dictated by AT. Yeah, auto salvages, I was one of those. I got to tell you, Unfinished Project has been unable to make it the last couple of years because of his work schedule. And but I'll tell you, he still has faithfully registered just in case. And I'll tell you, especially for a frugal guy to have that much commitment and care about this event like that, I really appreciate that. But some of you guys are really hardcore like that, and we thank you because it's really essential. Rules are rules. Yeah, and I got to tell you, we have a stellar safety record at the No Name Nationals. I want to keep it that way. 113 Cycles is trying to upgrade. We might be able to work that out. We'll have to see. Functional History says, I'll get out there if I have to Get started hoofing it right now. NSB says they hope Unfinished Project gets to make a pass this year. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? He could be there and no one know it, you know. Yep. JB says, I want to meet Unfinished Project. Yeah. I agree. But he puts in and he registers, and I really appreciate him. I appreciate a lot of you guys, and this is a wonderful community, but I really appreciate the way you unselfishly do this and support this event for this community, and we're all contributing to it to make it what it is. 38 says, is 59 claimed by the registers that car? Well, I'm not looking at the numbers right now. I don't know off the top of my, I know a few people's numbers off the top of my head, but I don't know. There aren't many two-digit numbers, and if there are, there's just these weird holes in the matrix. But our number issues are up in the 120s now. And there's more cars than that because not every car had a competition number. Those are just ones that went through tech to get a number. Bear Roses, I bet Unfinished Project's been there every year. We've just never seen him. If he has been, I wouldn't know it. Although I don't think he could resist trolling us if he was. Yeah, there's a lot of folks that have low numbers, and I would recommend keeping them because, you know, Mexican Spec, I don't even know. Here's why. When we get to the end of the year, there's so many people registered after I leave for Sykeston and don't even have the opportunity to put them in the physical book. They're still on a sheet. But it's just, I don't even know. I'm not even interested at that point. Once I see that, you know, people have come in, they've registered and everything's a go, it's a stat I have to come back here and do later. Just don't do it. You can see it. You can look at the aerial. You can figure it out. I mean, I don't know. I was giving away numbers. I was giving away around 120 last year. So 100 and some. And that's cars with car numbers. So there were cars there that didn't go through tech, didn't get on the track either. And that's fine. And they didn't have competition numbers. Big Block 402 says he's 52 and still on the driver's window. Yeah, there you go. And I believe Steven said he's already re-registered. And if he is indeed, then he's got that number back. 16 is on the hood of the Jet. Turbo Tom is 116. Yep. Yeah, see, Turbo Tom is number 116. And Jay's got to come in and flex. Number 1 is still on the window of the Dart. He's letting you know it'll always be there. That's great. Number 60 will be back, Russell says. I hope so. Russell, people still remember that Burnout performance you put on in that truck. My gosh. That's tough going out first. You set the bar really high. Slant Daily 69, Clint 40. Yep, see? Don says, Wendy's at work, but we'll be here at 9:20. Okay. Well, does Wendy have the dates yet? That's the main thing. Because Wendy wanted them before everyone else, and I never would crack and give them to her. Blue Collar Performance. He says, be putting the number on a different car this year, maybe. Well, cool. I have duplicates of the numbers, of course. So I have those numbers on site for you. You don't have to try to peel vinyl off and put it on literally. Certainly don't expect that. Although with the freaking cost of vinyl, my goodness. 96 is still on Damien's Dart. I got to tell you, I'm really surprised. I bet more than 2/3, maybe even as many as 3/4 of the cars still have their numbers from a year or two ago. Mexican Spec says, try to get Sleeper Dude in the Burnout competition. You try to get Sleeper Dude in there. You're a viewer.
if the viewers say, hey, you should go to the event called the No Name Nationals, if enough of his viewers tell him that, he'll say, hey, maybe I should. And again, I mean, there's no size of channel that would be unwelcome. It's all about cool people. And the haters and trolls and those people, I don't care how few or how many subs they have, they're not welcome. And the good people, again, I don't care how many few or how many subs. I do want to see people, get together and work together and support each other to get that first 500. That to me it's a big deal. They get that first 500, and by that point, they're so committed to this community and invested in this community that you never have conduct problems or anything. So that's, to me, is the value of the No Name 500. But outside of that, it makes no difference. I've probably helped get 1,000 subscribers for a bunch of other channels altogether over the last couple of years. I'm not asked for any. I mean, to me, it's once you're there, once you get it, once you're in, you're in. And if you were to get 500 and you somehow lost 50, it wasn't some ridiculous, egregious thing. But if you were to lose 50 to, say, the YouTube machine, you'd still be in. Mohawk's still 73. Okay. When we're going down the stretch in the season, a lot of times I'll remember what the numbers are off the top of my head. Well, Blue Collar Nate, thanks for joining when you can. By the way, Blue Collar Nate is the second annual No Name 500 champion. He wasn't even close. We had a lot of great channels, but wow, Nate, I think he started and got over 7,000 subs and brought his car and just did all the things that really, put it over the top. Mopar Owl's in the house. How you doing? Mopar Owl is working on the Lark. He sent me pictures of some parts he got today. Don, who won your contest, by the way? Because Clint and I have something for them. Yeah, Mopar Owl and Travis at Austin's wedding last month. Cool. Buff Del Campo. Mater says, what trouble are you getting into tonight? I don't know. Did you bring trouble? We don't have any unless you brought it with you. Oh, so look, is it Levi? Is that what we're calling? All right. So, let's see here. Levi's going to win a No Name National shirt. Levi, tell me gray or black, what size. We'll ship it out to you. Just text me or email me or whatever. And let's see here. Clint wants to include this in the prize pack. This is something that he was testing, and you'll win this as well. It's a torque tester. Looks to me like it's something that checks your inline breakaway torque between like your ratchet or braking bar and a socket. So Clint wants to include that. And yeah, prize pack for whoever won Don's contest there. Looks like Levi. Big block for it is Levi's the extra medium. Yeah, well, but the thing is, functional histories, I mean, we were up there close to 100 right before, so it varies. It peaks. What could have done is I could give you a maximum number from tonight. I have to look in studio when it's over. And even then, it takes about a day or two or three because you'll see that number change a little bit for a couple of days, and then it kind of sets. And I don't know exactly why the machine does it that way, but yeah, Daddy's Money Garage. All his buddies are on YouTube. Auto salvages do a slow car class, have a chance to win. Gonna bring something with a 283. Do a rear tire breaks the beam bracket so you can run your school bus. And brackets are bracket. I mean, don't overthink it. The clock's time out there at 22 seconds. So as long as you're not that slow, you're okay. The monkey bikes trip the timers in under 22 seconds just fine. Michael Hampton says only 600 miles from my driveway to Sykeston. That's exactly what my drive is, 600 miles. And he's running a 1980 Love. Well, I run a 1985 Dodge van the last 2 years there, so we got a lot in common. Same distance and the same vintage vehicle. Nick the Van Man suggested maybe a Plymouth Fury versus Ford Econoline at No Name Nationals. Could be. I actually could run the Rabbit right. It's 22 seconds. 8.0 index might be interesting. Maybe. We got a lot of cars close to that, but they all get in the bracket anyway. I want to see bracket participation come up. Big Block 402 saw a 59 Impala drive from Nebraska with a 454 in it. Yeah, it had a 518 Chrysler transmission in the trunk too. 446 miles for functional history. Yeah. Cool. Turbo Tom says, I made a 17.5-second pass at 38 miles an hour in the Model T. Yes, I videoed it. 17.5 seconds at 38 miles an hour in the Model T. That was so cool. And it happened. Buff's Garage has the distinction of saying that he's drag raced against a 1916 Model T. How many people can say that? Functional histories, you have enough tape to video all that. Fortunately, we don't use tape anymore. That'd have been a heavy reel. No, you can see it. The pass is up on his channel. You can see it. Main Street Mopar says the checklist for my 440 build keeps getting shorter. One piece of advice: make sure that you have an attainable goal that you know you're going to hit, and then you can keep expanding on the goal as you go. But you don't want to have a goal that you're going to do everything you can do to make in 9 months' time, and then maybe miss it. And then even if you do miss it, still come on to the event. And the reason I suggest that is because everybody who has taken that approach and said, I'm going to set a goal that I know I can get, but then I'm going to add to it if I hit that goal on time or early. And then that's what they do, and they always get into a good position to come out with their best. And that typically people are happier than that than swinging for the fences and it's all or nothing. Because then if they don't make it, it's like they don't even want to go to the event. So we want to see you there again. So if you can build that 440, love to see it. Big Block 402 says transmission and converter are now on my goal for this year. Yeah. Important stuff. Big Mike says, I honestly believe this is the year I'm going to have the Green Goblin running and racing. I believe so too, because Mike, gosh, he built that Coronet the first year, and then he built that 31 the second year, and now the Charger. So I believe it. Big Mike is a structured, disciplined guy that gets stuff done. Mopar, I was talking about Tony's Hot Rod Garage is 1,486 miles one way. It was a long commute. Tony's Hot Rod Garage lost a brake caliper in the middle of Oklahoma and had to change it in the rain. So I tell you, it's really something else. The amount of adversity a lot of these people will overcome to make it there. He had a towel under his transmission fan to catch drips. Well, you've got 264 days, 2 hours, and 44 minutes to take care of stuff like that so that you don't have to do that again this year. I'll tell you a really good example of when you want to get all the little things done. A good example is look at Nick the Van Man. That guy really is extremely proactive about all the little things so that when he makes it, he doesn't have all those hanging chads. So he's a good study in, time management over a long period like this. So he'd be a guy to get advice from on something like that. Functional histories, just keep looking in the woods. You'll see all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of things out there. Mexican spec, you don't change calipers on the side of the road, you block off the brake hose. Yeah, not when you're towing a trailer. I mean, you got to have brakes. But he put a caliper on it, came on in. I get what you're saying. There are a lot of people that will do that on the rear, though. And that was a late model truck. His 78 Dodge, it was fine all weekend. It was the late model truck that gave him problems before he got there. Big Block 402 is running low tide on projects, I guess we'll say. Levi said I had to go back and see if I won. Well, if you won, Levi, let me know. I believe you did. I just need for Dawn to call it. Dawn calls it, I'm good. I will ship you out a shirt. And Clint will ship you a torque tool that you can measure torque with. I think it's interesting. Dawn says you're a winner even before tonight. Levi lives the life. Jason's garage says 937 in the house. There you go. Stephen Oates says I pinched off the steel brake line of the Fairlane the first year. Well, Deke will be looking for that now. Mr. Oates on dry land? Indeed. Yeah, I'm sure everybody here has a sketchy, don't have enough brakes stories. Joe said the Lenco outlasted the 727 for the weekend. Right. Joe, fortify your stuff with coat parts. You'll be fine. LB Bruins, you coming out to the No Name Nationals this year? In 264 days and 2 hours and 41 and a half minutes? Daddy's May Garage says we have overbuilt brakes, right? Got some grief for those overbuilt brakes, too. But I bet they stopped the car good. Thing about the brakes at Sykeston is if you don't have enough and you manage to clear the beach, you'll be in a neighborhood. There's a neighborhood back there that gets to enjoy the Burnout competition each year. They seem to like it, though. I remember the first year, everybody walking through the woods from the neighborhood to watch through the trees. That track has been there before any of that was. That built up around the track. It's understood that the track has no curfew. It's grandfathered in from all that. Another good reason to have that event in Sykeston is you don't have the track curfew problems. Levi says, I will need a parachute this year. Are you jumping in from a chopper? Going to land on the track? You can do that. Yeah, Russell, it didn't have much brakes on your dirt car, but you also have a 600 gear. 600 gear with a manual transmission. That makes a huge difference. Well, there you go, functional histories. That's the days. So again, I'll recap for people here. Most of you people are familiar with the drill, but for anyway, there's new people watching. Thursday is the day that's free for everyone. You can come hang out, but Thursday is an administrative day. Get there, unload, get checked in, get your camp and your pit spaces set up, get teched in. We cruise to Lambert's. We're looking at some other things too for Thursday, but we're for sure going to cruise to Lambert's. We moved that up an hour from the first year to the second year to 5 p.m., and I believe we're going to do that again this year. That worked pretty good. Maybe right in there, but we're going to cruise to Lambert's again, and we do that on Thursday. That's free for everybody. And then Friday and Saturday racing, we're going to have the Burnout competition under the lights on Friday night. That is always a huge crowd pleaser. The way people turned it up from year one was good. There was no complaints about year one. It was a great Burnout competition. But year two, my gosh. And walking through the pits, it was like Jonestown the morning after on tires. I didn't even realize I would have done a video walking through the pits at 7 o'clock Saturday morning of all the flat tires that got destroyed in the Burnout pits on all those cars. I have pictures of all. There were probably 10 cars in the pits sitting there with flat tires, at least on one side, where the tires just grenaded in the Burnout pit. So it's a Burnout pit like no one else's, under the lights. All that backlit smoke is wild in a neighborhood. You got the beach on one side, spectators on two. It's wild and different, and it's going to be exciting again. So Burnout competition under the lights on Friday night. And then, of course, Saturday, we're going to have our finals in 28, 10, 5. I'm going to add a second bracket of some kind. And don't forget, rules will be out in January for Outlaw Monkey Bike. So we're going to find out what people can really do with those things, and I think it will be fun and exciting. No structured deal playing Lambert's. If you leave Lambert's hungry, that's your fault. That's a good place to eat, and they welcome us. They love it when we come there. They're just fantastic. They're great to deal with. Love having them as part of the deal. Daddy's Money Garage kills front tires in the Burnout competition. Well, that was Damien from Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans. He's the one that blew a tire off the rim on the front in the Burnout competition. Big Block 402 is going to put the flamethrower on for No Name Nationals. Right on. We love it. Daddy's Money's saying that's the year he broke the ball joint. Yeah, that's what I thought I remembered. Actually, you were the only people we had to kick off the track, because you were probably going to kick yourself off, but we watched that thing go down the track like, nope. But let's see, Buck is in here. Frankenstein. Are cookies the new currency for No Name Nationals? Well, I got to tell you, year one, I heard about Jackie Abbott's wonderful homemade cookies. I heard about how spectacular these cookies were, but I missed them. The busiest I ever am on earth are on those days. All right. But anyway, I was going through the pits this last year here in 2023, and I stopped by the pits, and there's Jackie with a 10 of those cookies. So from the window of the van, she's like, hey, I want to make sure that you get to try these this year. So she gave me a few to try. Man, they were fantastic. Those people were not kidding. She orders some kind of special butter from across the earth and all this, but I'm telling you, those cookies are awesome. So, yeah, if those are currencies, then Jackie's got all the gold. And then, the Abbotts are just great people too. They're just so much fun to be around. Just uplifting, good people. Looks like B&R is excited, wants to do something. Well, hopefully. Looks like you had a good time last time. You sure might have to make a bunch of passes in that 96 Chevy. B&R, make this the year you bring the Pontiac. It's whatever you want to do, whatever you can do. Tall Garage is here. Thanks for swinging by. Mopar houses in 2024. I will not red light against Daddy's Money Garage. Can't make it 3 in a row. If I'd have left any later, I'd have had a red light for the car behind me. Daddy Money said he at least found out the car will do a burnout. Well, yeah. You know, it's a great thing about doing this year to year is that you get to avenge things from the year before, just your own personal stuff. So if you said, you know, there's this new goal I'd like to achieve, whether it's running a certain speed or something in the burnout competition, or there's something I want to do with my build or something like that, this gives you an opportunity to set new goals and shoot for something new. Thumper left 2 days late. Well, you made it. It was great to get to meet Thumper. I'm glad you were there, man. I hope you're coming back this year. Functional Histories is an Ohio people. We got Ohio people there. Tony's Hot Rod Garage. That's all his truck does now is burnouts. Got to get it hooked up. There's Justin Hill. You gonna convoy down with Barrows and Landon and part of the Idaho contingent. Jason from Indirect Connection says he can probably beat his time last year on foot. So I hear that. Thumper's already registered. Right on, man. Well, we hope you come in. It was great meeting you, by the way. You would never, for those of you who have never met Thumper or heard or seen him on a live stream, he gives him that name, Thumper the Sweaty Fat Guy. And there's all these things you can come up with for that. You see him in person, it's like, no, he's actually, he's not any of that, what you would expect. He's actually very articulate and clean cut and everything. So I thought it was funny, though, because I recognized him from his voice because I've seen him before and I've had him on a live stream before. But when Dallas walked up, I said, Thumper, they're not going to recognize you. You have to tell them. Yeah, Daddy's me. Yeah, exactly. Thumper's nothing like what he would have you believe from his name. Actually, a clean-cut guy, articulate and all of that. Just you don't get any of that. Thumper the Sweaty Fat Guy. And he's not that fat either. He's built like a power lifter. He is a power lifter. NSB is in the house. I'm looking forward to you guys coming back. I always like to see the NSB guys in the house. The NSB, I bet the tire changing machine, I know I saw it get used a lot after all those flat tires on Friday night. So if you guys are coming back, we certainly hope you will. Might need to do more content on just people coming up to the tire changing machine. Get them to tell the story of blowing the tire out as they change it. I think that would be a fun one to do. Daddy's Money says I can probably swap the points out for HEI, more effort. No. A 4-pin Mopar box on that car is easy. You can do it in 20 minutes. That's an easy swap if you want to do it. Or if you wanted to do a GM style, you could do that too. The module works the same way if you just map out the pins. NSB, I'm telling you, if you were to do content with people changing their burnout tires on that thing and telling the story as they did it, that would make a great video. Because I walked through the pits and just saw flat tire. You know what? I should do that. Let's see. That's actually, I could have done a good video on that, but I'm telling you that let's see here. Oh man, I took them off this phone. I put them all on the E drive. Yeah, but I had pictures of Russell's flat tire and Busted Radial Garage's flat tire and Jeremy's flat tire. And Jeremy's tire was flat and off the rim. It was pretty wild. John did say he thought it would be taller. I don't know. I don't remember how tall you were. I never think like that. I know one thing though. I was in that picture at awards with all those giants. It made me look 5 feet tall because I'm in that picture with Barkley and Dallas and all these people that are like 6'2" and 6'3". All those guys are all real tall. VW. Oh, yeah. So speaking of the VW thing, Cultured Redneck Garage has a sand rail. He might bring it. Kyle might bring that sand rail. That would be cool. I think it'd be great. Hopefully he's got some tires that aren't paddle tires for it. Well, Daddy's money. You know what? I like breaker points too. I mean, I've definitely had more breaker points failures in the field of the ignition modules. But that said, I've had probably about 50, 50. There's a cheap VW powered trike here. Oh, I got to tell you, I'm not a motorcycle guy. But if I was going to have a motorcycle, it wouldn't be a motorcycle. It would be a VW trike because I like VWs. Tall Garage, as tall as in the name. Tall Garage is the shortest guy in his party that comes there. It's all relative. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've had enough of those ignition boxes fail. When Busted Radial Garage, he put up a community post where he's got the engine bay out in that car, his Homer, his Burnout car. You can see where both the voltage regulator and the ignition box have all the epoxy just melted down the firewall. I mean, they get hot and it happens. And basically, you're either carrying an extra set of points or you're carrying an extra ignition box. Don't leave home without it, just whichever your car uses. Or if you really want to be hardcore, carry an extra points distributor in your car. Then you can stick that in there whether the car has the ignition box or points. So just, how hardcore do you want to be? Yeah, see, 113 Cycles is not a fan of the trikes. Yeah, I get that. I get that. It's motorcycle people usually don't like the Volkswagen trikes. I'm not a motorcycle guy, though. What I like about a trike is the fact that it's Volkswagen, because I like Volkswagens. Unfinished Project puts up the link to BRG. Yeah, Chris was in here earlier. He's planning on coming back to the No Name Nationals. Needs to avenge that Burnout pit. So we'll see what happens there. May bring both Homer and Linda this year. One for Burnout and one for Drag Race. At least points give you some kind of clue they're going bad. Not always. Not always. But I think if you're going to run those, you need pretty much any car. Ignition's that thing that just goes bad out of nowhere. So I know Ford guys would carry that module. GM guys would carry the module. Chrysler guys carry the box of the points or whatever. Just what you do. Tony's Hot Rod Garage is not going to be on those little street radials this year. Buff Del Campo's asking Mexican Spec if he can make it. I've actually mapped it out. And Mexican Spec is within 100 miles of the same distance that Mongrel's Garage is. And T's Good Time Garage is pretty close. And Night Wrencher, they're all within about 100 miles. So he probably would be the longest, but not by much. He probably would win Star Traveler. Good Ford guys carry the Mopar solid state module. Some Mopar guys run the GM module. I just can't do that kind of cross stuff on cars. I can't stand that stuff. I get it. I get some people do it. If you do it, no problem. It's your thing. Not for me. Duraspark. Well, the worst is that GM OptiSpark, like they put on the LT1. Oh man, that was a terrible system. It was just designed to go bad. Wow, Mopar Al says Ethan's been practicing his burnouts. Well, there you go, practicing his burnouts. Yeah, boy, they threw down. You guys threw down hard. You got parts coming off the truck in that burnout pit. So I got to tell you that the burnout competition, those guys left it all in the pit. They really ran their stuff hard and put on a show. If you're thinking about coming to the No Name Nationals, make it a point to watch the burnout competition. It is a show. And I have already heard stuff that people want to do this year. I mean, it's just crazy. I think this year has the potential to top last year, and that is saying a lot. Last year was off the hook. This is a picture, and I almost used this picture when I set up the website. This is out in the windshield of Jeremy's car, the Motley Crew cab, that Dart of his. So he's sitting there turning at 5,500 all the way around that burnout pit, did one lap, never stopped, smoking the tires all the way around that pit. And as soon as he made the lap, blew a tire out. Russell says, I have something up my sleeve. Oh, boy. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's really going to be something else. I'm looking forward to it a lot. You guys keep up in the ante, and we're up in the ante too. So there's somebody I'd like to see register Dart Freak 75. Put the bug in his ear, guys. See what he does. Joe said he's got his tickets ordered. Well, I don't know. We've got 20-some registered since we've been on here. I mean, and I haven't looked in a while, but I got more than that. So we've got probably close to 30 have registered so far. And I appreciate that very much. That means that you at least know that we're going to have it, right? We've put this on for 2 years in a row, and you know what we're doing, and you're having confidence in us to deliver, and I appreciate that. We will do our absolute best to deliver for you. Stephen, he either will or he won't. What we can do is just show him what he's missing. His drive is about 35 miles less than mine. How's that? BNR says too hard on an engine for long burnouts and racing also. Well, people do it. I mean, people do it. But I'll tell you, we have more dedicated burnout cars this last year because, I mean, and I think that trend is going to continue to go that way. More dedicated burnout cars. Well, Stephen, when you come up, holler. We'll do dinner again, whatnot. it was fun hanging out with Dart Freak Kevin and Stephen Holtz when he was up here this past summer. You come up this year, let me know. Unfinished Project put up the link for Perpetual Projects. I sure hope those guys come back out. It was a blast having Perpetual Projects at the event. They bring a lot to it, and really looking forward to seeing them. Levi has been on this quest to get about 50 watch hours. You're going to get it, Levi. You'll get it. Daddy's Money says our 454, which is now a 472, is back from the machine shop awaiting assembly. Right on. I actually like the big block Chevy. DNR saying engine oil temps can hit 400 degrees long burnouts, no oil cooler. Yeah, they can. You know what else you can do? You can turn a brand new tire into cords and trash in 90 seconds. Sure can. 2 of them. Mean Street Mopar says, I can't wait for No Name Nationals 2024. 264 days, 2 hours and 17 minutes, man. Yeah, Levi, you'll get it. I remember you hammering for those 500 subs. We're like, Levi, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. You'll get your hours too. Daddy's Money Garage says breaking stuff is the point of the burnout competition. Yeah, maybe, but I'll tell you, it would be really interesting to know how much tire tread in some quantifiable number gets destroyed in Sykeston that Friday every year. All right, Michael Hampton, I'm looking forward to your registration coming through. If you have fewer than 500 subs when you register, you get added to my page on the No Name 500 contenders. And that way people will know who still needs subscribers. You can see it on my page. And like everything else, the people who are trying the hardest are the people who get the most push. Levi, you'll do it. Biggest thing is don't quit. Unfinished Project put up the link for our defending bracket champion, T's Good Time Garage. T's a great guy. I hope T comes back to defend. He is a worthy champion out of Utah and came out with his 67 Dart and won the bracket. And I hope he comes back out to defend. Great guy. There's Dented Dreams Garage, Michael Hampton's channel, Unfinished Project put up the link. So, we'll see. There's a long time between now and then, but it's going to tick by pretty quick. Daddy's Money says the cat's climbing the window outside trying to get in. My dog must be asleep. I don't hear him or anything. It's too bright in this office for him. Otherwise, he'd be in here. All he knows is he wants to bark at some monkey bikes. Scrap Iron Racing. Yeah, I would love for those guys to come back out. Brought that beautiful flathead. Love to see those guys come back out. Nice people. Man, we just have such a wonderful, diverse cross-section of people and cars that come to No Name Nationals. And Scrap Iron Racing, yeah, great stuff. Out of Louisiana, bringing the salt racing stuff, which is great. Yeah, we're here. We've got just a few minutes left. I believe Tony's Hot Rod Garage is scheduled to go on after me. And I think Levi's going to be fishing for watch hours too. But I know Tony is, and I don't know, maybe you go live together. I don't know. well, whatever happens, happens. But I think Tony has been scheduled to be on after me. I'll also get a plug in too, is that the Tech Talk on Wednesday is going to fire back up on the Slant Daily Garage channel after the first of the year. So that had a planned, break over the holidays, and that'll fire back up. And then I'm going to be back to having guests on this channel with regularity in the new year. If anybody has any questions about anything, there's T's Good Time Garage. Plans in the work. Want to be back? Right on, man. We hope you do. It was great having you out. Just know that track is going to be better this year. It's already better now. It's going to be better. And this competition is going to be stiffer. So bring a lot, man. Love to see you win it again, though. As promoter, I'm happy to see any of you deserving guys win anything. Yeah, Bigfoots and Mopars are glad to hear that. Yeah, right on. You know what? I didn't talk to anybody that didn't say, "Yeah, that T's Good Time. What a nice guy." Everybody, is like, what a cool, nice guy. Indeed. And that's the kind of people we want this net to get bigger and bring in this community, or these just nice, good community people like Terry who want to come out to our event. Indeed, yeah. Most of the old parts and rust. Looking forward to seeing T's Good Time Garage. Yeah, me too. I thought it was wild when he put the 28 10.5s on the dart. That was crazy. Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. Hey, that's, what? Just there's a lot to it, both in the chassis and the tire and the track and everything. And you got to figure it out. You got to race the track. But again, Damien, every year you could just keep improving and having your own personal goals and doing what you want to do. And that doesn't always mean faster. It might mean you want to do something different. But anyway, T, the dates are out. So it's going to be Thursday, the 19th of September, Friday, the 20th, Saturday, the 21st of September, 2024. Going to be at the Skelton Raceway at Sikeston Drag Strip, Sikeston, Missouri. So it's returning to that old school name of Sikeston Drag Strip. Unfinished product, put up the link for Jeremy. Jeremy of Bad Tree Productions. Looking forward to him. What a fun guy he is. He's one of those guys that whatever's going on, he makes you smile. He elevates the mood, and he's the cool guy. Good guy to have there. So looking forward to the Bad Tree group. I haven't seen him in the chat tonight. I did see Jeremy earlier, but sure hope to have all of you guys back and more. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be wonderful. Uh-oh, 38 says he doesn't think he can leave Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans alone. Hey, that 59 Chevy in that dark, that might not be a bad race. That might not be a bad race right there, guys. Yeah, he beat me twice. Yeah, well, this is your year, man. Make 2024, make that a goal. Maybe 3 times. Could be. I don't know. I was running around crazy busy. Yeah, good times indeed. But see, the thing is, you can come back with different stuff for this year. You can come back with who knows what kind of combinations. Yeah, Donald Racer 59. He'll have the newer car of the pair. Speaking of that, sometime here this winter, early spring, or whatever, just whenever it works out, I've got a fresh transmission to deliver to Don. He's going to have his new torque flight in there here. I guess whenever he's planning on putting it in. I guess you're gonna wait till the weather gets a little decent, right? You never know what Damien and Racer Ray will have up their sleeves. Early spring, yeah, something like that. We'll figure it out, Don. We'll probably do a little bit of content on me taking it up there too. So the NSB said we started out about 30% in the dart last year. Did throw the kitchen sink at it. Got it to about 80. We'll need 110 to be just Mopar Joe. Yeah, well, the tracks should be a whole lot better. Those timing woes really hurt the program on the prep there, but ship has already been righted from all the reports I hear coming out of Sykeston. Possum is committed to giving us a great race service. Possum is a racer. Possum has a fast car. He knows what we need. So I would fully expect that we're going to have traction in hand this year. So for those of you who've just been drifting around, I'll do a quick recap. This year, we're going to be changing up the monkey bike rules for Outlaw Monkey Bike. This is going to give a lot more creative freedom. It's going to be a speed-governed class. Got a couple other things I'm not sure that we're going to do yet. I'll announce them as we go. I always do as we tune certain things in. But we are once again going back to Sykeston, Missouri. The track has been rechristened the Skelton Raceway at Sykeston Drag Strip, going back to the old school name from the 60s, Sykeston Drag Strip. The Skelton family is running it, and we're going to have a lot of little things be improved and dialed in just to make the event just run that much smoother and that much better. But we'll, again, all the big things like Tech being on Thursday, the cruise to Lambert's, the bracket race on Friday. We're going to add another bracket race for Saturday. Still going to have our heads up class. Of course, the Burnout competition, the one that we have to call the fire department before we have on Friday night. All of that stuff. So all the things you love about the No Name Nationals and more. And this year, like I said, if people register early, I need to get some things. Yes, unfinished project. Mayor Possum, our friend Mayor Possum. I really want to try to have a chassis dyno there this year. And it's going to depend on early commitment to registration because that's part of the deal for making sure these things get paid for. What I don't want to do is put the registration fee out of the reach or just, or try to squeeze you guys for it presumptively. What I want to try to do is encourage maximum participation. Go ahead, get registered, get committed, and then that gives us the latitude to do things like the chassis dyno. Does anybody have any last anything? I'm sure we'll be talking about this a whole lot more between now and then. I'm going to be having more regularly scheduled guests on these Fridays. We'll be doing content creator workshops again. We'll do a few. We'll see who wants to turn out for them and what kind of appetite there is for them. And we will see how that goes. But I'm offering them again. Cope just got in from dinner with 2 hacks. Well, I'm sure you're tired, so I'm sure you're ready to go ahead and crash. Yeah, Cope, we're having the No Name Nationals in February at US 41 in Morocco, Indiana. I figured you would like that. Yep, Cope is in the house. 265 days, 264 days, 2 hours and 5 minutes to be exact. Ears are beating, yes. You've just been at the Burnout box with no earplugs, right? All righty. Well, we got just a few minutes here. Thank you guys for coming out. We'll go ahead and shut down on time. And let you guys head over to Tony's Live, or if you want to go help Levi do what he's doing over there. And if anybody has any last questions, we got just a few minutes. But more to come, more fine-tuning. You've got the dates, you've got the where. You can go ahead and start making your time off plans. You can go ahead and start making travel plans. You can go ahead and start making the project lists and stuff out for your car. You know what you got to do, and you know how much time you have to do it. I'll be there. Dallas will be there. Professor P, Barkley, Possum, Wrong Ward, Deke, Jethro, all kinds of people there to help make it happen again this year. Tony's Hot Rod Garage is saying Cope will have Casper Matic hats in stock for sale next week. Wow. 113, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate y'all all coming out. Have a happy new year. A lot of fun in here tonight. It always is when we announce this thing. But, yep, this year's going to start rolling quick. So be looking for content out of all these guys and all your favorite content creators and more people making announcement videos and registering along the way. I don't even know how many people we've had registered. I mean, it's my entire phone screen. It just scrolls. So we've had a lot of people register tonight, and thank you all for that. Registering early is a huge help. Yeah, this will be my last live stream, I guess, of the year tonight. But we're going to start back with guests in the new year and more good stuff, fun stuff to come. Anybody have any last questions or anything they need? I'm going to go ahead and shut down. T, thanks for turning out, man. We look forward to seeing you again. It might be only one time a year we get to see each other in person, but at least we can stay connected via YouTube year-round. Wendy's saying Happy New Year. Hey, Wendy, would you like the dates for the No Name Nationals? Johnny C says Happy New Year. Mexican Spec says same. 38 says also. Thank you all for coming out. Mohawk says he'll be happy to see T, but knows not to race that dart of his. Yeah, that dart's not kidding around. Yeah, I watched one of T's Good Time Garage videos, and he says, yeah, I put my transmission together, and I want to see if it does transmission things. I said, okay, that guy right there, that's somebody I need to invite. I like his style already. Tim72 Demon made it just in time to say bye. Well, hey, we've dropped the dates. You see it on the crawl down here. And you know when, you know where, you know how much time you have to make it. All the big pieces are already in place, so just some fine-tuning to do. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. I hope you can all make it. So we're just going to try to keep making this event as nice as we can with the same people. Just if more people of the same kind of like-minded community spirit want to join us, the better. The more, the better. All right, guys. Thumper's saying website is still saying shirts and stickers are not available. I have no idea why, but I will check that out. Thanks for telling me that, Thumper. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shut down. See you over on Tony's Hot Rod Garage Live here shortly. Y'all take care. Thanks for coming out. See you next Friday.